She said two words.
What two words? What were they? What did she say?
Bad wolf. Are you afraid of the big bad wolf, Doctor?
Allons-y, everybody, and welcome to the Bad Wolf broadcast. We are here talking about this new Doctor Who season and the latest episode, and with me always is...
Oti, I don't think you introduced yourself.
Oh, I didn't? Well, I'm Tony, so welcome to the Bat Wolf broadcast. We're getting back into this, so it's going to be a little bit of growing pains as we get into it, but as I mentioned, I'm here, Oti's here, we're talking about the latest episode of the newest season of Doctor Who, Season 2, as we're calling it.
Season 2, Series 15.
I never know, but we're here and we're talking about Lux.
Lux, yes. It's very funny because I think last week I asked you, Tony, do you think we're going to dive into the God subplot this season? And you were like, of
Little
course.
did we know.
And I was like, oh, maybe. And like, no, I am Lux, the god of... Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. I was with you because it was an episode about an animated character that comes to life. Never did it cross my mind, this is one of the gods of the pantheon.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, but we're here, it is a god, and what an episode it was, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it was... I can get ahead of myself. I really liked it. It felt like a Moffat 11th Doctor episode to me in many ways. It kind of reminded me of what's the hotel one? One of the last
The God Complex.
the God Complex. It something about it kind of reminded me of that episode. I know they are not like similar, but
no, now that you mention it, I'm 100% with you. I think it's so true. Like, I knew there was something about it that I was like, this feels like something. But you're right. Like, it's a pretty intense episode, despite the silliness behind it.
yeah. Don't make me laugh. That sounded like
Something like Alan
BioShock.
Cumming.
You know BioShock?
Yes.
Do you know like the random machines in the city? Where,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
the carousel of I don't know. It kind of had that voice to it.
It really did. It really did. And it's funny because when you think about that, it kind of plays to that era. Like, BioShock has this kind of like retro era feel to it, despite it being set in like a future, but
Yeah,
in the
no,
past,
the
but it's like
1950s
yeah.
vibe.
So I do like that, and again, just to get it out of the way, because we're probably gonna talk about this a lot. Alan Cumming, what a man. Like, what a voice to bring to do this role, because it sold it to me in every way, from the seriousness to the silliness. I kept thinking of Floop. If all my true fans will remember Floop from Spy Kids, like, I just felt that. I literally felt like, who, why, when, where? Who, why, when, where, and why?
Okay. So this episode picks up right where the last one left us off. The Doctor doesn't know how to get Belinda home, or so he says. And he's trying to figure out what they can do. And he comes up with this plan where he'll land in 1952 Miami, do some sort of timey-wimey anchor or harpoon, and he'll use that to go back to 2024, 2025. And in classic Doctor Who fashion, by the way, I think this was a cool, good line. Like, he explains the plan like we have a straight line into 2025. once we do this again like 5 more times.
Yeah. It's a straight line once we keep doing this.
Once we go on adventures together.
Yeah. And
Dude,
I think
I'm telling you, I'm hell-bent on the idea that the doctor is keeping her on purpose.
I mean, I with this episode, I would continue to agree because I think that is very spot on to how he's acting around all this. And like, interestingly enough, it's that he tells her, she's like, oh, this device doesn't really help us get to 2025. It lets us get to a time where we can slingshot to 2025. And then he's like, oh, it marked 1952. I guess that's where we have to go. So it plays to this thing of like, well, the machine keeps telling us this is where we have to go to be able to slingshot. So let's keep doing it. And yeah, I do feel a sense of that. Although later in the episode, and we'll get to that,
Yeah.
like the doctor does say something that kind of
Yeah, that's true.
helps identify where we're at. But I do know as always, the doctor knows more than he's letting us know. Yeah.
Or maybe he doesn't, and that makes it even more scary, which is kind of what he hints at.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly
but
right.
It's funny because Alberto in Radio Rebellion was like, but why would the doctor do that? And I was like, because the doctor is a very toxic person.
Yeah, because when you get to be 1,500 years old, as the doctor is right now, you get bored. You sometimes want to have fun.
He spent 3 billion years trying to get out of the
of the castle in Heaven Sent.
That does something to your psyche.
No, 100%. I mean, this is somebody who was literally the only reason he stole that TARDIS and left Gallifrey is because he thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
True.
And suddenly 15 regenerations or bi-generations, whatever you want to call them later, this is where we're at.
Yep. So yeah, they're doing this slingshot thing to try to get back, and of course the doctor finds adventure that he has to
you
attend to
explore that,
and we have a Doctor Who episode. So Tony, our thoughts are out of the way. Let's get rid of the housekeeping and go back into discussing looks.
Let's do it.
Hey companions, before we get started, we want to remind you that you can listen to us over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcast. Wherever you listen, make sure to follow and subscribe so the podcast episodes will pop up automatically in your feed and you don't have to look for them. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave us a 5-star review, which really helps us get to more people, and that way the show can keep growing. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at batwolf_FNI. You can also keep up with our co-hosts' adventure. You can follow Collectony52, which is Tony's collection page, and you can follow El Podcast de Star Wars, which is Odie's main Twitter and social media handle, but also his Spanish language Star Wars podcast. And our co-hosts also have Film Not Included, which is a podcast dedicated to discussing all sorts of films. The links to all these things I just said will be linked down below. Without further ado, let's get right into the Bad Wolf broadcast. Okay, Tony, so the inciting incident for this episode, the doctor sees some chains on the door. And I love that tiny moment. Again, it reminded me a little bit of early Doctor Who episodes. Like, that's such a doctor thing. Like,
yeah, like,
I know we gotta go, but like,
yes. No, and that's a very doctor thing of like, I always remember of what's the first episode with Amy Pond, the one with the whale in space. I'm forgetting the name right now, but he's like, everybody's so happy. We're in a whale in space. Why is that little girl crying in the corner?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like he notices these tiny little details. And the thing is, like if that was a chained up like convenience store, it would have meant nothing. But he's thinking it's 1952 and this is a movie theater. this is the place where people would come to like let go of their life and like go to a new world and explore that. Like the 50s, while not many people talk about it, was like a really inspiring and height of the filmmaking era. So he was like, why is this movie theater closed in Miami of all places? Like, we're in like
Yeah.
the cultural center of America right now.
So it also reminded me, by the way, there's another great moment like that in the Christmas special. The doctor gets coffee, gets in the TARDIS and starts suiting up, and he's like, "What did I see?"
Yeah, I saw something that was different than
Yep.
all of this. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, the doctor notices that, and then he obviously has to explore.
Right.
I love how they again have to. We talked about this when we talked about the Rosa Parks episode. The segregation, they need to explain it because not American audiences.
Yeah, but it's also very interesting. I mean, I've been watching Doctor Who for 10-ish or more years now. And Doctor Who very rarely goes into American culture.
Yeah.
But with this, we have to actually explain the times. And the fact that the Doctor, being black, can't go into all these places, right? And that's very new Who, but it has been explored in all old Who era. Like there have been episodes in the old Who era that have touched on this and have like pushed the fact that the Doctor is not racist and not like he doesn't see these things.
Let's talk about what's going on. There's this movie theater where they show movies, and one day the moonlight shines on a spoon and flashes against the reels, and then boom, we have a monster.
Suspension of disbelief
Sure.
at that point.
What is it with these gods and spoons, though?
I don't know. I think it's
I saw
very
it on Twitter.
interesting.
There's apparently like a trend.
Clearly, there must be one.
Because in with Sutek, the world is saved by a spoon. The
Yep.
doctor trades a spoon, and apparently with Maestro there was also a spoon involved. I don't remember that though.
I'd have to
So,
double check
what's
that
up with spoons
on Maestro, but I don't know. But it is very interesting. Why a spoon?
So basically, the Lux, the god of light, turns into this cartoon animal and captures this entire movie theater, and they close it down, and no one's allowed to go in except for the owner or caretaker, I don't know, who was blamed for all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he like lives there literally. Like he has
lives there?
he has
Okay.
a cot there and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so Reginald Pye is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor then takes Belinda to explore the movie theater because, of course. And they go in, they meet Reginald, who's trying to protect them. He's like, please don't hurt them. And Lux reveals himself. What was it that the doctor did to stop Lux? I don't remember.
It wasn't the doctor, it was Reginald who like he played the song again in the reel because when the song was playing, Lux had to be singing the song at the same time. It kind of like kept him locked into the reel. But yeah, like it was just very interesting how like the fact that the reel kept playing over and over again because it had to, right? And that's the way Lux stayed alive. But then the doctor kind of sees it and it pulls him in and he has to investigate. So there's a little bit of like the doctor also makes a reaction out of Lux, right?
So okay, then when Reginald stops them, they go talk to him. He's like, "Hey, the reason I'm doing this and why I'm continuing this is because Lux showed me my wife, my deceased wife, and one day we'll be together or something, and that's why I'm doing this." And the doctor is like, "Okay." Sure.
Yeah, no, I again, the whole thing of like, if he's shown something that you really want, you're gonna fight for it, right? And he clearly wants this, but the doctor is like, but it isn't real. It's just a
It's
film, right?
film, yeah.
But there's
Oh,
a very interesting line from Reginald there where he's like, yes, but it's real to me, right?
yeah. No, he's like, if that cartoon is real, if this whole thing of him trapping people in film is real, then that has to be real too.
Of course.
That's a good observation, Reginald. Smart man.
Definitely.
Smart man.
Definitely.
So Lux then faces the doctor one more time and
Mhm.
turns Belinda and the doctor into film characters.
Yep. A
And
very Miami Vice animation.
yeah. So it's very literal. They are now 2D. They are part of the film, and since they are 2D, there is no dimension to them. And the only way out is by expressing your feelings and fully completing all dimensions to the person that you are.
Mhm.
That's how you get out. And we get some reveals, right? Um, uh, the doctor and Belinda like express some honesty to each other. This is the episode where we get some Gallifrey lore for anyone jumping in for the first time.
Yep.
We hadn't really talked at all about Gallifrey, I think, beyond I have the Last of the Time Lords, Two Hearts.
No, the first time I think we mentioned Gallifrey in the show.
Since Ruby?
Yeah.
I,
Again this
yeah,
season, yeah.
I think so. No, I mean, like, even with Ruby?
I
Did they
don't
talk
know if he's ever mentioned
I don't
Gallifrey to
remember.
Ruby. No,
Yeah.
no.
So yeah, he then reveals that Gallifrey was destroyed and he's just forever on the run.
Right. Like he can't ever go back home.
Exactly. And Belinda tells him that she's afraid that she's never gonna get home. Oh, and he tells her, like, I don't even know if there's a home to take you back to.
Exactly. Like he literally confesses, like, I don't know how to get you home. Like, I
Yeah.
say all this stuff and I try all of this, but I don't really know if I can get you there.
That was like, okay, so and Belinda reveals that she's also afraid of the doctor and she just wants to go home. Okay, Belinda, I get your deal.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
but hey, she's gonna learn.
Yep. So the doctor figures out that since they are in a reel, they can just like move the reel back and forth. So they start trying to do that and supposedly get out. I love a good like twist where the mom of the teenager that disappeared, which they talked to earlier, she like shows up with the police and she's like, "Oh, like that's the guy who broke segregation laws." And the police are like, "Oh, you're under arrest." And again, the doctor being the doctor, he's like, you got to try harder. Like that's an NYPD uniform. And
Yeah, no, he definitely gets them. But I love the whole Belinda understanding that, like, even when the doctor is trying to help, there's always going to be people that are like, why are you like, stop, like, why are you doing this? And I love that she's the defender of the doctor at that point.
yeah,
She's like, hey, he's trying to help you, like, why are you getting him arrested just because he's black? Like, that's kind of
yeah.
weird. But yeah, as you
and the
said,
doctor's like, you don't know Americans.
yeah. And then, as you said, yeah, like, he's like, this is clearly a joke. Why are you trying to do this? And it goes to show that, yes, it is a meta thing of like, no, we're still in the movie at this point.
By the way, I was just thinking about that River Song episode where they're like, don't shoot. They're not going to shoot. They're Americans. Oh my God, don't shoot.
Yeah. They're American.
Uh,
Oh shit, don't shoot.
So okay, the doctor then's like, okay, up and down is not the way to go. This is 3D. Let's go forward.
Yeah, we
not
have to go
backwards.
out.
Out. So they walk out of the screen and are in the living room of Doctor Who fans. Tony,
Quite
W-
literally.
one of them is wearing
The
Matt Smith,
fez. Another one
the
is
fez,
wearing the
the
Fourth Doctor
scarf.
scarf.
What did you think about this?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "What are we doing?" But by the end of it, I was like, "Thank you." Thank you for finally accepting that this is part of this show. Like I'm one of the people who sometimes wishes more shows could address their audience directly, and while most of them are comedy shows that would be able to do this, the fact that we're getting this in Doctor Who and accepting that a lot of this is really this might not be the right word, but it's a joke. It's all just fun and games. We're all just having fun with all of this, and there's no need for this to be this seriousness behind everything, right? So I love that Russell was like, "Fuck it, let's just go with it. Let's have fun with this. Let's do this episode. Let's make this meta-ness right here." And I love how it goes along. I love the interactions. I love how the Doctor learns a bit about himself at that point too, while the fans are just like, "Oh my god."
This really worked for me. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I'm a big fan, but I'm just like a new fan. But I was like, yeah, of course this happens on the show. Of course. Um, it. I thought it was very funny, like that whole Blink bit.
The Blink bit was amazing. And this is what I think the
And
the Doctor is the one that's naming all of these chapters in his life because he knows exactly what they're talking about.
he
Even if
knows exactly what they're talking
even
about.
if he's fighting against it, he's like, "Yeah, but like
Oh, come on.
I met the Beatles," but he knows what Blink
Uh,
is. He knows what they're
yeah.
talking about.
And I love that Belinda's like, what happens in Blink or something, and they explain it in the most basic thing
Literally.
form possible. Like, oh, it's an episode where you can't blink.
Yeah.
That's the best Doctor Who episode. So again, that I thought it was very fun, and Russell clearly had to have a blast
Yeah,
writing
no,
that
and of
bit.
course the whole even the whole writing thing about it when one of the characters is like, "Yeah, but you told us the ending of this episode already. We know exactly how it's gonna go. Like
Yeah,
why you told us that this is gonna happen, so we know that this other thing is gonna happen," which you and I talk about all the time. It's like once we see something we're like, "Okay, I know,
I,
you don't MacGuffin us like that."
I love that they go like, you made sure that we were aware that film was flammable or something, or
Yeah,
explode. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So
Yeah,
we
no,
know it's all gonna end up in a big explosion and a big
yeah,
fire. Of course
no,
it has to.
that was super fun. That was
Yeah.
truly super fun. But I love that it also, and that's something I think Russell T Davies is very good at. He presents something and then shows you another dimension to it and recontextualizes, and both are still true.
Completely, yeah.
And you have that moment when they're like, yeah, but this is not a real world. Like we're not real. We don't matter. And again, he gets to be Russell and be like, no, you do matter. Remember, Doctor Who fan, you do matter.
No, of course, of course. There's always that, and then this episode even has that after credit scene, so we kind of get to feel like they're there. So,
Yeah.
um,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
They're
So
like, oh my God, we
we're
survived.
always there. But there is this sense of I even think of the 11th Doctor episode of The Flesh, where it's you're not real, but you are real. There has to be this feeling of even though something we feel isn't real, can be real,
Mm-hmm.
which plays into this episode. And I do love that he just acknowledges the fan. He understands there are people looking to us to make this better, right?
Yeah.
And to keep them going. So it was fun. It was really, really, really fun.
Yeah. So they then go back to the real world again. This time
Finally.
for real. No fake.
No fakesies.
Yeah. And the doctor then realizes not the doctor. Lux realizes that the doctor is a Time Lord, which means infinite light,
Mhm.
which means he can be a god again, I guess.
Right.
And
By using his regeneration powers. Yeah.
yeah. So he then tries to make the doctor regenerate in a way. Like, we see the glowy thing activated.
Yeah,
By the way,
he's
Tony,
basically trying to kill him and pull those powers, which I did feel a Maestro thing. Remember when Maestro uses the strings to pull? Same thing, using the film.
So, but then Belinda remembers the whole thing with the film and explosion, so she runs off to the film
Third act reveal.
and ignites a fire to blow it all up. The doctor is also dying, but doesn't die, and the explosion then rips the roof off of the movie theater. The light of the sun is then absorbed by Lux, who turns into a very creepy live action version of the character.
Version of himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first, that is the regeneration powers that turn him into this like live action.
Right.
The sun just makes him bigger,
Larger.
right? Yeah.
So
But that was kind of creepy because it almost felt like for lack of a better term, Jungle Bookish. It's like, did Jon Favreau come in and turn this character into a real version?
real poet. Yeah.
But it was great. No, it was really, really great. And then that, like you said, the sun just makes him have infinite light. So there's only reasoning that it'd be infinite Lux now.
Exactly. And then there's this whole commentary like Belinda being like, oh, no, he's a real god, like gone, not here, like so big you can't see it.
Yeah, intangible, essentially. Yeah.
Intangible. And Doctor's
and
like, yep.
what I do like, you can quote me on this, I think Lux is coming back as a good character next.
Oh, really?
I think the Doctor, because we know that this whole new series is going to be about the Pantheon and all these other gods that are coming. The Doctor essentially gave Lux what he wanted.
Yeah.
Infinite power. So it only stands to reason that now he has a god on his side, while all the other gods are still like, fuck this guy. Fuck this Time Lord.
The Time Lord.
Yo, this is an aberration.
Okay, so the people then go out of the movie theater. Everyone is saved.
Yeah, so I think one thing, I don't know if we mentioned this, but when Lux takes over the movie theater, 15 people disappear, which means Lux takes them away, so they come out here.
Now they're free.
Yeah.
And one of the people who was captured or just appeared there was Mrs. Flood.
I think she just appeared.
No,
I don't
of course
think she was
did.
one.
Of course
I think she was literally just waiting in the corner.
And she's like telling everyone to look at the TARDIS.
Yep.
Interesting.
Limited run.
She says it's
until May 24th.
May 24th, the day of the second to last episode of this season. And the day the world ends.
I wonder if that's Russell T being like, we haven't gotten a renewal for the third series, so we don't really know if this show is going to be...
The show hasn't been renewed?
I don't know. I really haven't checked. To me, Doctor Who has like an outstanding, like, just, you'll keep going until we say that you won't keep going.
I need to know. Right now.
I need to know this is coming back.
If you think about it, we knew that the show was coming back for a second season.
Yes, we did.
But we haven't and we knew it was shooting while the first one was.
But we haven't heard anything about the third. All right, so we no, maybe yeah. We took a small little.
Okay, so no, we don't know if the show is. No, okay, we know the show hasn't been renewed for a third season. So Doctor Who canceled?
Hey,
I
everybody,
don't know.
put your petitions into the BBC right
Right
now.
now. Right now. It's not what you're doing. I don't know why we started to talk about it. But you know what, Tony? Oh, because of the May 24th.
Yes.
Whatever. We don't know.
But
and we
yeah,
can't control it.
So second episode, Mrs. Flood, 2 different time periods, 2 different physical locations.
Hey,
It's no longer Mrs. Flood the neighbor, which is what we had in the first series.
Mhm.
Now it's Mrs. Flood the time traveler.
Yeah.
So
just like Susan Triad.
exactly right. So Oti, is this Susan his granddaughter?
Oh, I don't know. I forgot about that theory.
So did I until right now.
Susan. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Time Lord? Does that make sense?
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense right now, just because of the whole time thing, knowing what a TARDIS is, knowing how it works, knowing all these details about the Doctor that aren't.
I'm about to blow your mind.
She works for UNIT.
No. What if she's the 16th Doctor? That's a wild.
You know what? We're bound for a geriatric Doctor at this point.
Yeah.
Why
Been a
not?
while since Capaldi.
It's forget Capaldi. Fucking William Hartnell.
No.
Like,
He literally died.
he
making the
literally
show.
died.
You know what? That's my theory. She's the 16th Doctor. Sue me. Sue me.
What if she is William Hartnell?
She is literally
She
William
is
Hart.
literally William Hartnell.
She's haunting the show. Like, Russell T Davies has no control over this.
Oh man, that's
we
great.
are in a Doctor Who episode.
That's great.
That's what's going on.
So I don't know if this came through with our review, but I really loved this episode. I think it was great.
Liked it.
No, I think it was
a lot.
awesome. I think it really hit some awesome points in the lore, but at the same time, it hit some points in new stuff that's gonna take us into this new era. I really loved it. I love the Doctor. He keeps growing within himself. We've seen him with segregation now. We've seen him with Belinda, how he acts with all these people, how he wants to help. And I love him. I think he's great. I think he's doing a really great job at just like having fun with it.
I was thinking, I don't want to get married with this idea, but I think Shruti may have my favorite run of Doctor Who episodes. Like, I don't think he's had a bad episode at all. Like, honestly.
No. I mean, looking at everything, I mean, out of everything we've seen so far, the lowest right now to me is Joy to the World. And it's still a pretty good episode.
And for me, maybe it would be Church on Sunday of Ruby Road.
You know what? I'll say that as well.
But
I think
again,
the Church on Ruby Road is worse than Joy to the World.
I'm only saying this not because these are my favorite episodes. I don't think we're there yet. But like all of the other Doctors, except maybe Eccleston, had a lot of stinkers.
Well, obviously,
like,
Eccleston only had a 1 season, but when you look at all these other Doctors, like, and you and I talk about this all the time. We hate using this word. It's not great. It's technically.
I will shoot you on the spot.
There are episodes that are definitely meant to fill in the rest of the story. That does not mean to say that they are simply filler episodes. But I will
Good.
say there are certain episodes that are just like monster of the week. Let's get this done with and just have fun. But and add this tiny little thing that adds to the rest of the lore, because Moffat was like huge on this is my arc, but check out these little fun monster of the week episodes every once in a while, you know. So I'll say that I'll remove the word filler from the vocabulary and say there are definitely monster of the week episodes in Doctor Who.
Fear Her? What was that about?
who was her?
By the way,
Um,
I always say this because I've noticed it's, I think, not non-Jody. It's the worst reviewed episode. I don't think it's that bad. Like, maybe it is like the worst Doctor Who episode, but I think that's a positive for the show. And Love and Monsters are like, it's one defender.
hey, talk about a filler. I mean, monster of the week. Uh, no, I think that's the thing. It's like with what we've had with Chuti, despite it being relatively standalone stories, they are very arced. They are definitely very attached to that arc. Like having Susan Triad be in every episode and stuff like that. So I'm intrigued by what they'll keep doing. Um, but I'm not against it. It's Doctor Who. Like, it's already part of the lore, so let's keep it going. Like, oh, the crack
uh,
in the wall. Fucking 8 seasons of a crack in the wall. Like, let's go. You know?
Before we leave, I just want to mention the next episode is called The Well.
Uh-huh.
It is um looking to be like a space station episode.
Almost, yeah.
Which I am always in for a Doctor Who space station episode. So the trailer looked cool, so I'm excited.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Okay, so that's it. Those are our thoughts on Lux. We'll leave it there until next week when we'll be back to discuss The Well. So yeah, follow us on whatever it says down below. Make sure to like, subscribe. If you're listening to us, then follow or subscribe to the podcast. And yeah, see you next week. Tony, take us out.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. Like Oti said, please follow all the things below. Keep in tune with this podcast, because Doctor Who is not over. We have a bunch of episodes coming by. And with that, everybody, Geronimo.